The silent colony Captain Marcus Vanguard stared at the empty space where Harmony Station once orbited. The mining colony had housed 50,000 souls just 3 days ago. Now there was nothing but cosmic dust and the fading echoes of desperate distress calls. "Captain, long-range sensors confirm it," reported Lieutenant Nia Torres from the communication station. "Complete molecular breakdown. Whatever hit them didn't just destroy the station. They erased it from existence." The bridge of the exploration. Vessel Wanderer fell silent. Harmony Station had been humanity's most remote outpost, a testament to human determination to push beyond known space. Families had lived there. Children had been born among those asteroids. Dreams had flourished in the cold vacuum of space. "Any survivors?" Marcus asked, though he already knew the answer. "None, sir. The debris field shows traces of an energy weapon we've never encountered before. The molecular signature is completely alien." Marcus clenched his fists. In his 30 years of space service, he had never felt such cold rage. The attackers hadn't even left a message. No demands, no warnings, no explanation. They had simply wiped out an entire human settlement as if swatting an insect. "Nina, send an emergency transmission back to Earth Command. Full spectrum broadcast. Tell them what we found here." "Already done, sir." "But Captain, there's something else." Nina's voice trembled slightly. "Before the station was destroyed, they managed to launch a single data probe. We retrieved it." The holographic display flickered to life, showing the final moments of Harmony Station. Security footage revealed massive ships, unlike anything in human databases. The vessels were organic in appearance, with dark hull surfaces that seemed to absorb light itself. They moved with purpose, their weapons charging with an eerie purple glow. Then came the voice of Station Commander Robert Kane, his final transmission crackling through the static. "Unknown vessels, this is Harmony Station. We are a peaceful mining operation. Please respond. We mean no harm." The response was swift and merciless. Purple energy beams lanced out from the alien ships, and Harmony Station simply ceased to exist. Marcus felt something change in that moment. Not just in himself, but in the very fabric of human space. The galaxy had just declared war on humanity, and they didn't even know it yet. "Nina, how long until Earth Command receives our transmission?" 18 hours, sir." Marcus nodded grimly. In 18 hours, humanity would learn that they were no longer alone in the universe, and that their new neighbors had already shown what they thought of human life. The Wanderer turned toward home, carrying news that would change everything. Behind them, the empty space where Harmony Station once thrived served as a silent monument to humanity's first encounter with true evil. War was coming, whether humanity wanted it or not. The awakening Fleet Admiral Jackson Stone stood before the United Earth Defense Council, his weathered face grim as he delivered the report that would reshape human civilization. The holographic display behind him showed the remains of Harmony Station, or rather, the empty space where it had once been. 50,000 civilians, Stone said, his voice cutting through the shocked silence of the council chamber. Erased. Without warning, without provocation, without mercy. The enemy made no demands, issued no ultimatum. They simply murdered an entire colony. Council Chairman William Drake leaned forward, his face pale. "Admiral, what are we dealing with?" "What kind of weapons can completely atomize a space station?" "Something beyond our current understanding, sir. Our scientists estimate the energy output required would exceed anything in our arsenal by a factor of 10. These beings, whoever they are, possess technology that makes our best defenses look like children's toys." The chamber erupted in worried murmurs. Earth had enjoyed decades of peace, expanding slowly but steadily into nearby star systems. The idea of a hostile alien civilization had always been theoretical. A distant possibility that military planners prepared for, but never expected to face. "What do you recommend, Admiral?" asked Counselor Janet Rivers, the representative from the outer colonies. Stone's expression hardened. "Total mobilization. Every ship, every crew, every resource we have. This isn't just about revenge for Harmony Station. This is about survival." "Surely you're being dramatic," protested Counselor Harris from the Luna settlements. "One incident doesn't justify." "One incident?" Stone's voice rose. "Counselor, they didn't attack a military installation. They murdered 50,000 innocent people, men, women, children who never held a weapon in their lives. If we don't respond with overwhelming force, how long before they decide Earth itself is an acceptable target?" The truth of those words settled over the council like a heavy blanket. For the first time in human history, they faced an enemy that had already proven their willingness to commit genocide. "How many ships can we muster?" Chairman Drake asked quietly. Stone activated another holographic display, showing fleet positions throughout human space. Every major world has agreed to contribute. The Mars Defense Fleet, the Titan Patrol, the Outer System Miners Guild, even the independent freight companies. They're all volunteering. The numbers were staggering. Battleships, cruisers, destroyers, and frigates from dozens of human worlds. Mining vessels retrofitted with weapons. Cargo haulers converted into troop transports. Even luxury liners had volunteered to serve as hospital ships. 700,000 vessels, sir. The largest fleet in human history. The council sat in stunned silence. Never before had humanity united so completely, so quickly. The destruction of Harmony Station had done something that centuries of politics couldn't achieve. It had made every human realize they shared a common enemy. "The aliens made one critical mistake," Stone continued. "They assumed we were weak because we were peaceful. They thought one devastating attack would make us surrender. Instead, they've awakened something that has been sleeping in the human soul since our ancestors first picked up rocks to defend their caves." He turned to face the massive viewport overlooking Earth's orbital shipyards, where thousands of vessels were already gathering like angry bees defending their hive. They wanted to make an example of Harmony Station. Instead, they've given us a reason to show the galaxy what happens when you threaten humanity. The hunt begins. Commander Tyler Phoenix stood on the bridge of the heavy cruiser Retribution, watching as the massive human fleet prepared for its first jump into enemy territory. 700,000 ships stretched across space like a metal constellation, each one carrying the hopes and anger of an entire species. "Navigation report," Phoenix commanded, his eyes never leaving the tactical display that showed the alien empire's suspected territory. "Jump coordinates locked in, Commander. Intelligence suggests the Kethver Dominion controls 17 star systems in this sector. Their main fleet base should be here." Lieutenant Rebecca Storm highlighted a red star system on the display. Kethver. That's what the aliens called themselves, according to the data recovered from Harmony Station's probe. Ancient, arrogant, and utterly convinced of their superiority over younger species. They had been conquering and enslaving civilizations for over 1,000 years, but they had never faced humanity. "Commander," called out Chief Engineer Marcus Blake from his station, "all ships report ready for jump. The new weapon systems are online and fully charged." Phoenix nodded. Human engineers had worked around the clock, studying the alien energy signatures from Harmony Station. They couldn't match the enemy's firepower yet, but they had found ways to adapt. Humanity's greatest strength had always been their ability to learn, to innovate, to turn disadvantages into advantages. Signal the fleet. "All ships, prepare for combat jump." The response was immediate. 700,000 acknowledgments flooded the communication channels. Battleships powered up their main drives. Fighter squadrons performed final equipment checks. Marine assault teams checked their weapons one last time. On his personal communicator, Phoenix received a message from his daughter back on Earth. "Dad, make them pay for what they did to those families. Come home safe." He smiled grimly. That's exactly what he intended to do. All ships, jump in 3.2.1. Mark. Space twisted and folded as 700,000 human vessels disappeared. From normal space, racing toward their destination faster than light itself. When they emerged in the Kethver system, the sight that greeted them was exactly what they had hoped for. The alien fleet was massive, easily 200,000 ships of various sizes. Their vessels were dark and organic-looking, covered in what appeared to be living armor that pulsed with purple energy. At the center of their formation sat a command ship the size of a small moon, bristling with weapons. "Contact the alien fleet," Phoenix ordered. "Open channel." The view screen flickered, showing a reptilian creature with 4 arms and glowing yellow eyes. When it spoke, the universal translator rendered its words in cold, mechanical tones. "Primitive creatures, you dare enter Keth for space? We destroyed your pathetic colony as a warning. Leave now, or join them in extinction." Phoenix leaned forward, his voice deadly calm. "My name is Commander Tyler Phoenix of the United Earth Defense Force. You murdered 50,000 innocent people. We're here to return the favor." The alien creature hissed what might have been laughter. "Your primitive weapons cannot harm us. We have conquered 100 species." "What makes you think?" "Because," Phoenix interrupted, "those other species never had humans. All ships, weapons free. Show them what we learned from their attack on Harmony Station." 700,000 human ships opened fire simultaneously. The space between the fleets lit up like a newborn star as missiles, energy beams, and kinetic projectiles streaked toward the enemy. The Kethver had numbers, but humanity had something far more dangerous. Pure, focused rage backed by human ingenuity. The real war was just beginning. The Galaxy Burns General Diana Hawthorne watched from the command center of the fortress ship Vengeance as human forces swept through the 4th Kethver system in just 2 weeks. What had started as a mission of revenge had become something far larger. The galaxy was learning that humanity would not be bullied, enslaved, or ignored. "Status report," she commanded, her voice carrying the authority of someone who had spent 30 years climbing through military ranks. "Ma'am, the Kethver Defense Fleet has been neutralized. Admiral Parker's task force is securing the outer planets now. Minimal human casualties," reported Colonel James Hunter, her chief of staff. Hawthorne nodded, but felt no satisfaction. Each victory brought them closer to the Kethver homeworld, but it also revealed the true scope of their enemies. Evil. Every liberated planet told the same story. Slave camps. Entire species worked to death in mining operations. Worlds stripped bare of resources and left to die. "General, incoming transmission from the Zelani delegation," announced communications. Officer Lisa Brooks. The main screen flickered to life, showing 3 alien beings unlike anything humans had encountered before. They were tall, elegant creatures with silver skin and large, intelligent eyes. When the lead figure spoke, there was hope in its voice. "Great warriors of humanity, I am Ambassador Kalen of the Zelani Republic. We have watched your war against the Kethver with great interest. For 50 years, we have suffered under their dominion. We wish to join your fight." Hawthorne studied the alien carefully. First contact with a friendly species. The moment would go down in history books, assuming they all survived the war. "Ambassador, humanity welcomes allies in this fight. But understand, we're not here to build an empire. We're here to make sure the Kethver never murder innocent people again." "That is precisely why we wish to stand with you," Kalen replied. "The Kethver believe that might makes right, that the strong may do whatever they wish to the weak. You have shown them something they thought impossible, that even the mightiest predator can become prey. Over the following days, more species reached out to the human fleet. The Taraki, whose homeworld had been strip-mined by the Kethver. The Fainari, whose children had been taken as slaves. The Valdrin, whose entire civilization had been reduced to servitude. Each new ally brought ships, resources, and most importantly, intelligence about Kethver defenses. What had begun as a human revenge mission was becoming a galactic uprising. General, called out Intelligence Officer David Cross, we've received word from our deep reconnaissance teams. The Kethvar are pulling back all their forces to their home system. It looks like they're preparing for a final battle. Hawthorne smiled coldly. Good. Let them gather their forces in one place. It'll make this easier. The human fleet had grown, beyond all recognition. The original 700,000 ships had been joined by vessels from dozens of liberated worlds. More importantly, humanity had learned to adapt Kethver technology to their own purposes. Human engineers were already infamous throughout the galaxy for their ability to make anything work, and captured alien tech was no exception. Colonel Hunter, send word to all task force commanders. We advance on the Kethver homeworld in 72 hours. This ends where it began, with overwhelming force. As the massive Allied fleet prepared for the final assault, General Hawthorne reflected on how much had changed since Harmony Station's destruction. Humanity had entered the galactic stage as victims. Now they were leading a coalition that spanned dozens of species, united in their determination to end the Kethver threat forever. The galaxy had awakened something in humanity that even humans themselves hadn't fully understood. Not just the capacity for war, but the ability to inspire others to fight for what was right. The Kethver had sought to make an example of human weakness. Instead, they had created a legend that would echo through the stars for generations to come. The final battle awaited. The price of Wrath Admiral Victoria Cross stood at the observation deck of the super dreadnought Humanity's Wrath, gazing at the Kethver homeworld as it burned beneath a sky filled with human and allied warships. The final battle had lasted 18 hours, and now the 1,000-year Kethver Dominion was nothing more than history. Admiral, we're receiving surrender broadcasts from the remaining Kethver vessels, reported Captain Nathan Steele, her flag captain. They're requesting terms. Cross turned from the viewport, her expression hard as starship armor. Terms? They didn't offer terms to the children of Harmony Station. The bridge fell silent. Everyone understood the anger, the desire for complete vengeance. 50,000 innocent lives demanded justice. But Cross also understood something else. The galaxy was watching. Humanity's response to this moment would define how other species saw them for centuries to come. Open a channel to the Kethver Supreme Commander, she ordered. The main screen showed a badly wounded reptilian figure, his forearm shaking, as he transmitted from what appeared to be a damaged command ship. When he spoke, there was no longer any arrogance in his voice, only defeat and fear. Human Commander, we surrender unconditionally. We will abandon all conquered territories. Please show mercy. Cross stared at the alien for a long moment, thinking of all the worlds they had liberated, all the species they had freed, all the evidence of Kethver cruelty they had discovered. But she also thought of her own daughter back on Earth, and what kind of galaxy she wanted to leave behind. Supreme Commander, your forces will stand down immediately. All Kethver military assets will be surrendered to the Allied fleet. Your species will be relocated to a single world under galactic supervision. Any attempt to resume your conquests will result in the complete annihilation of your civilization. And our lives? You'll live, not because you deserve mercy, but because humanity chooses to be better than you. The transmission ended, and Cross turned to address her bridge crew. All ships stand down from combat alert. Begin recovery operations for survivors of all species. In the weeks that followed, the galaxy watched in amazement as humanity proved. They meant what they said. Instead of enslaving the defeated Kethver, humans helped establish refugee camps and medical stations. Instead of claiming conquered territory, they returned worlds to their original inhabitants. Captain Emily Rivers, now serving as humanity's first ambassador to the Galactic Council, addressed representatives from over 100 species on the neutral world of Sanctuary Prime. The war began with an act of senseless murder, she told the assembled aliens. It could have ended with genocide. Instead, humanity chooses to end it with justice and the hope of peace. Ambassador Kalen of the Zilani stood to address the council. In all our histories, we have never seen a species rise to power and choose restraint over domination. Humanity has shown us that strength without wisdom is mere brutality, but strength with compassion can reshape the galaxy. Back on Earth, Fleet Admiral Jackson Stone reviewed the final casualty reports from the war. Human losses had been surprisingly light, thanks to superior tactics and the courage of their alien allies. But every name on those lists represented someone who would never return home, someone who had paid the ultimate price for humanity's entry into galactic civilization. Commander Tyler Phoenix, now promoted to Admiral, established the Harmony Station Memorial on the site where the colony had once thrived. The monument bore the names of all 50,000 victims, along with a simple message: they died as civilians. Their memory made us warriors. Their sacrifice made us protectors. As the years passed, the story of humanity's first galactic war became legend. Not just the story of 700,000 ships united in righteous anger, but the story of a species that chose mercy over vengeance when victory was complete. The galaxy remembered humanity's wrath, but it also remembered something far more important: humanity's wisdom to know when wrath should end and justice begin. In classrooms across 100 worlds, alien children learned about the small blue planet whose people had changed everything. They learned that sometimes the greatest victory isn't in destroying your enemies, but in showing them a better way to live. Humanity had entered the galactic stage as victims. They had become legends, not just for their ability to wage war, but for their wisdom in choosing when to stop fighting and start building a better future for all species. The stars themselves seemed brighter, knowing that somewhere among them, humanity stood watch.